start with racket number one. Real estate brokers sue to end Oregon's unconstitutional ban on love letters. This is the press release right out of the Pacific Legal Foundation website, pacificlegal.org, which we'll link up if you're on YouTube to check out. So this is their press release. They are representing this boutique real estate firm. So they write, today a boutique real estate firm with offices in Bend and Portland filed a lawsuit challenging Oregon's ban on love letters for prospective homebuyers. Earlier this summer, obviously, Oregon became the first state to pass a law banning real estate brokers from transmitting non-financial communications between homebuyers and sellers, fearing that so-called love letters might be used to discriminate in housing transactions, but without any evidence of such discrimination. For Total Real Estate Group, that's the name of this. What do you think of that name, Nicole? Total Real Estate Group.
I feel like it's great.
The ban on love letters harms their ability to match potential homebuyers with their dream homes. The letter often prompts sales below the top monetary offer, creating opportunities for first-time homeowners and giving sellers peace of mind that their home ends up in caring hands. Love letters are incredibly important for matching buyers and sellers, says Pacific Legal Foundation attorney Daniel Ortner. Oregon cannot ban valuable speech because someone might use it to discriminate. So this is his comment. Oregon cannot ban valuable speech because someone might use it to discriminate. Such a broad speech restriction is clearly not justified. Represented free of charge by Pacific Legal Foundation, Total Real Estate Group is asking a federal court to restore their right to freely facilitate communication between homebuyers and home sellers. In another release from Pacific Legal Foundation, 75% of this firm's offers have some form of love letter or broker written cover letter that allows buyers to go beyond that financial offer that, you know, maybe the board has drawn up for them to make deals. So we were reporting this when it happened that Oregon banned love letters, basically because it could go against fair housing. Mm-hmm. Now, real estate, we're going to get into some quirky NAR rules here in racket number two, but like National Association of Realtors, to be a realtor, you've got to live up to a whole particular code of ethics that is, you know, what you need to do to be a realtor, but not necessarily how, you know, it's not the law of the land, so to speak, right? And so this one, though, because fair housing is a law, like that's not just some made up realtor thing. This one seemed like it was a little bit in the gray area 100%. For sure. Yep. You know, like you can now, you know, really influence a seller's decision with personal facts about a buyer in a love letter, which can go against fair housing. So you've got fair housing as a law, and you have freedom of speech. I do think the biggest concern here, though, when they were talking about these love letters, is that you are potentially setting up your seller to discriminate against them, sort of knowing that that's what they were doing. And so that was the biggest problem on the real estate end side. And in my personal opinion, too, is I don't let my sellers read them now because I could be setting them up for that. Because as soon as you start talking about like, oh, my kids, I've got 2 kids, and then you're like, oh gosh, I want a family living here, that's discrimination. So again, I feel like I get it that they want the free speech part, but this is really more about, are you setting up your seller to violate the law? Nobody is restricting buyers from doing this. It comes down to an agent making it a part of their package when they send an offer in to the sellers. Like the agent, like love letters have often been coached by an agent. An agent says, hey, buyer, this is how you're going to write the love letter. Write it in this way. Here's a couple of examples of love letters that have worked in the past.
Hey, they like dogs. You like dogs. Talk about the dogs. Yeah.
Finding commonalities. To me, I've always, like you said, talked to my sellers about, don't read this. It's crap. It doesn't mean anything. Who cares if they like your dog Fluffy? Nobody cares. It's not going to get you the money at the closing table at the end of the day. Let's take the most qualified deal that meets your terms, right? If you want to close quickly and this one does it and it's cash and it's got no contingencies, that's your deal. Fluffy doesn't matter in this transaction. There are a percentage of sellers though that, oh, well, I do care about them loving my Fluffy and they've got a little Fluffernutter. Maybe we can get Fluffy and Fluffernutter together. Maybe they can go play in the backyard and become friends, the last time we're here at the house, it doesn't matter. Like, go close on the property. It's a transaction. I've never thought it mattered, but this doesn't ever stop a buyer from going and doing it. So the buyer can just go do it. Their freedom of speech isn't restricted. So I guess what PAC Legal Foundation is saying is, I'm calling them PAC. Can I call them PAC? Pacific Legal. I'll go with Pacific Legal. It's not like the PAC Sun. What's the PAC Sun? Is that a clothing store?
It is a clothing store. Yeah.
Pacific
is it
Legal
still
Foundation
even around?
is,
I don't even know if it's still around.
Is fighting for the freedom of speech of realtors. But realtors have... They've got their own rules they've got to follow.
I think that they're trying to do the freedom of speech for the home buyers, because it's clearly stating that it's putting the home buyers at a disadvantage because the letters often prompt sales below top monetary offer, creating opportunities for first-time home buyers, giving sellers peace of mind that their home ends up in caring hands. So they're saying that this is putting now their buyers at a disadvantage by not being able to provide a letter that accompanies an offer. That's
my point is,
claim.
but doesn't that exist? Can't the buyer just send the letter?
Well, the Oregon banned that. That's the problem here. They banned the love letters.
But did Oregon? But how can Oregon? My point is, I thought Oregon banned it, and maybe I'm wrong, and so maybe I'm wrong here. I thought Oregon banned it for real estate agents to be involved. Like, how do they ban it for the consumer? The consumer anybody can write a letter to somebody.
Well, right. I guess then because we're the ones that are delivering it to the seller.
I mean, it does from home buyers to sellers.
Maybe we should reference the original ban.
Represents violation of the agent's and client's First Amendment rights. So Pacific Legal Foundation is arguing that it represents a violation of both the agent and the client's First Amendment rights. I don't see what is stopping the buyer from ever sending information directly to the seller. I can see what's stopping
the agent from
for
delivering
sure.
it. Yes. So yeah, I mean, I guess the buyer could still mail it. They're going to mail it.
And remember, this lawsuit is on behalf of this real estate firm that is stating that 75% of their offers, use these love letters, that they're they're saying that they're very important to matching up buyers and sellers. I mean, I believe when the information came out, I said, great. I'm not really a fan
You're
of
not
the
a
love
lover
letters.
anyway. Yeah. As a buyer's agent, I love them. I mean, they do help. Again,
they do help.
It may help Fluffy get the house because, it's a couple that wants more
unfortunately
kids running around.
There are, I guess not unfortunately, it's their house. They can do whatever they want, but there are people that will take not the best offer. My parents, my childhood home, they did this. They
loved the letter?
They took an offer less than asking price because of a love letter, because this family's still there today.
Yeah.
That this family wrote a love letter. They had little kids. They raised it. So they got emotional about all of that. I would never do a transaction like that. And this is why, when we talk about like Open Door or Zillow, like thinking like, iBuying, which is less than 1% of the total addressable market, like is going to grow to the entire market, is ludicrous. Like there are some sellers that will just sell based off of the other party having kids or dogs. And there are some that want a convenient transaction and will sell their home for cash in 2 weeks to a institutional buyer. Like there's all kinds of sellers out there. Will this lawsuit win, Nicole? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I kind of feel like it can't. I mean, that what they're basing it off of seems a little silly. Again, I still don't know that you're putting your sellers in the best position when they're reading these letters. So
Pacific Legal Foundation took it at no fee, so they are confident they're either going to get some
Well,
enough
that
PR
or,
out of this, or
well, definitely. I mean, they emailed the article directly to us.
They
so
did.
They are,
but
they are,
it's on Inman as well. I mean, we were going to see it either way, but
touche. But they have a whole
thank you for
PR
sending it
firm,
over.
yes, working on this clearly. But I'll be curious to see what happens. I mean, I'm curious to see what the ripple effects will be.
I think I've been pretty consistent that I believe love letters are a racket. I don't know if Pacific Legal Foundation, before they sent this over to me, went, back and watched some of our, prior content on this. So, I don't think they're going to win. If they do, that'd be very interesting.
Very interesting
to see that, there is a debate here. Okay, how do you protect fair housing, and how do you, also protect freedom of speech? I believe in freedom of speech for sure, which is why I don't see how you can stop the buyer from going and doing it themselves. I can see how you can stop an agent because there's realtor rules. And hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip from The Real Word, click here for another one.
Or if you like the full episode, click here.